to say about Twist. Basically, that they're fantastic people. So I won't bore you with it, but Target is a 1,700 store chain. They turn over $70 billion a year, and they choose to use Twist, and they choose to use our company too. They actually brought us together and said, you two should work together, and so we now do. We've worked with Target for 3 years, and they're a great company to work for. So the question is, how was Target able to succeed in a discounting environment where other people had failed? How would Target compete with Walmart? What was the currency? The currency was a story. And the perspective which I want to share with you today is one that's not being shared elsewhere. Target knew who they were, and that logo that you see there, without the words Target, is the most recognised logo in the US outside the American flag. More than the McDonald's arches, more than Coca-Cola, more than Disney. They now run campaigns without the brand name. So those of you who are brand aficionados and you think that the name is the all-important thing, if you can get your logo type and your symbol to work properly, then you actually don't need a name. I disagree with the previous speaker, actually. And I'm sorry she's not here to have a healthy debate, but I think that looking to Japan for fashion trends for the Indian market or even the UK market is also flawed because they're a different size. And they have different seasonality. So I'll talk to her about that when I see her later. So Target knew about respect for the customer, respect for the individual. And you'll see that they knew how to talk to her and not talk down to her, not to tell her what to do. And they very quickly realised that they could position themselves in behind Walmart as a successful number two rather than a fiercely competitive number one or co-number one. They didn't want to be number one ever. They still don't want to be number one. They want to be number two. If you think of Walmart, probably you think of big brown box, perhaps, or something big and something masculine. If you think about Target, you think of other things. So Target are storytellers. And storytelling is everywhere. These pictures that you see, by the way, Mark Sotnick, who wrote this presentation, he travels the world taking pictures, and then he brings them back and he creates these stories from them. And also, the other thing on WGSN, I'd like to give you something. WGSN probably costs about £12,000 a year just to start. £12,000. That's a lot of money. 7 million images all categorised. We have our own humble archive, which is only 1 million images, but it is updated every week, and it covers every retailer in the UK. And if all of you would like access to it, you can have it for nothing. Because we like to democratise retail, and we like to democratise the growth of retail. So we're happy to share our knowledge with you without charging for it. Feel free to email me after this, and I'll arrange that for you. So stories about individuals, and stories are compelling when they're about the humans that are behind them. They're about what you're offering and what you want, and hopefully colliding your story with a customer's needs. Communities tell stories. And in a market the size of India, the community is also very important because you have billions of people. And you can't have a community of a gazillion because it's not a community, it's a crowd. So you have to identify, I suppose, where your community is and which community you're addressing. We address the retail community, that's who we talk to. We talk to CEOs and chairmen globally. So if any of you would like to reach out from your market and you're having trouble getting through a bureaucracy or a switchboard or past a PA, send me an email. And if we know the person that you want to connect with, we will do it for you with pleasure. As a courtesy, you won't get an invoice. We're here to help. Simple as that. The marketplace is human. You know, we're all human. We all drink water and we all need food. And it's true. And I wrote here, your opportunity exists as a retailer to study old marketplaces as well as new ones. And I put in bold type on the plane this morning, the whole world is busy trying to understand India. Which is true, because outside of India, everyone says, in this order, go to China, then go to India, then go to America. Now, I think that's wrong, personally. I think that you should go to South America first, then you should go to India, and maybe China if you're really, really, really brave and prepared to lose money. And the reason for that is South America is actually quite European in its execution. India is the largest English-speaking country in the world, so there's a lot of common language. Although I do think the biggest barrier to retail growth in the Indian marketplace is the sari, because the Indian marketplace and the growth of the market will be driven by fashion, fundamentally. Not food, you're already buying that. It's about fashion, that's for new. So the growth will come from the women who switch from the sari to Western clothes. And I've only seen one woman today from all of the executive team, in a sari. So it's interesting that those of you who are in business have already made that switch. But that's where the growth will come from, in my view. I hope that you share it. The problem with facts and details, they age. It's true, they age terribly. And they can't be reconciled with tomorrow. And as it says here, Walmart used to advertise air conditioning in the same way that Starbucks now advertise Wi-Fi. Sometimes you get it free, sometimes you don't. I got Wi-Fi free today at this hotel I expected to pay. If I go to Holiday Express, I'll pay about $15. Why do they charge me, but the Ashok doesn't? And the Ashok is an emerging market. The Ashok is the Indian market is not emerging. It's here. It's current for its needs as they exist today. There's nothing emerging about it. The future is what you have in your hands, and the opportunity to seize that growth. So stories are ageless and timeless. And I'm sorry that we didn't have time to put Asian and Indian images into this presentation. I don't mean to insult you by having Western images, but it's all that we have, and I hope that you can get the story, you can get the narrative. Man, virtues, nature, affirmations of community, seduction and love. These are all global stories. Boy gets girl. Now my sisters would say it's a girl gets the boy. And any man in here who's still to get married, don't think that you finally got a girl to say yes, because she gets you to ask her, and then she gets you to think that you got her to say yes. Women are very smart. They're much smarter than we will ever be. Numbers are interesting, remarkably interesting, and I'm going to fast forward to a thing here which we found in Eindhoven. This girl had done a piece of art, and on this tableau are all of the numbers of her life, her shoe size, her age, numbers of teeth, numbers of brothers, sisters. So these statistics are all factual. We know everything about her, but actually we know nothing about her. And we have to engage in a dialogue to understand her and to know her. We have to know her story. And in retailing, when you get to the number, there is no more narrative. When you start at 80% off, there's nowhere else to go. That's all you can say about yourself.